Welcome to the Books and Martinis podcast.
I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy.
And this is your go-to book podcast,
where we lift, empower, and spotlight authors.
Grab your martini and follow along.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Everybody, and most of all, welcome Christopher Loric. Welcome.
Cheers
to you for being
welcome
here with
to
us.
Our podcast.
Bye. I see that Christopher has water. So do we. Well, Priya has coffee.
I have coffee in my martini glass.
We are not drinking, people. We're not drinking.
Martini.
We'll have plenty of that tonight.
On the screen and in your ears is Christopher Loric. He's the amazing author of SESG Explorer, a sci-fi fiction book, and it is just simply amazing and totally up my alley, guys. You know I love sci-fi.
Gorgeous cover.
This was for me. Thank you, Christopher. And a gorgeous cover. So welcome, Chris. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me on the program.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
So we are going to kick it off with Christopher's bio and a little bit about his book, and then we'll shoot right into the questions. So Christopher Loric is a retired U.S. Navy CDR, having given 28 years of service. He was deployed with the U.S. Navy and served twice with the U.S. Marine Corps, including a year in Iraq. He had multiple assignments at combatant command level planning and overseeing multiple operations. He has always been interested in the history of the world leaders, governments, and militaries. He looks forward to the day that man settles on Mars and expands to the rest of the solar system. Me too, Chris.
No, I was going to say Priya too. And first of all, thank you for your service, Chris.
Yes,
thank you. Start with that. Thank you very much for your service. And with that being said, and such a great book that we got to enjoy, which again, we appreciate our signed copies. Please tell us about yourself.
It's me. Born in
26 years.
That's a long time.
I was born in Oklahoma and did not want to stay there. Love the state, love the people, but always had the desire to travel and desire to serve in the military, and the Navy was the best component. I got to travel into the Pacific, the Mideast, and Europe. 28 years, rose to the rank of commander. I went from tactical level all the way to strategic theater.
Wow.
There's a difference between strategic national and strategic theater. I worked at the theater, plans and operations. I was a requirements officer for the Navy a couple of times, which really played into gain capabilities out there to the warfighter when they need it. Served in Korea. Did a 3-day vacation to China. That was good, but scary because secret.
That doesn't sound like a vacation if it's scary.
Right.
Well, you enjoy yourself, but you always have to be on the alert for the secret police and them trying to trap you.
Oh.
So, that was fun, educational. Assigned to NATO at my last assignment at their transformation command in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia. Learned a lot about NATO, more than I knew, obviously, having never served with NATO. But yeah, really an interesting alliance. But that's a lot of my life was around the Navy. I met my first wife in the Navy. She decided it wasn't a life for her. And then met my second wife on Guam, Silila Jeannie. Jeannie, she goes by for most people. And we're still together. We're now living in East Tennessee, and I'm retired military writing novels, and she's still working.
Oh, that's wonderful. Where in Tennessee are you?
I'm in Jellicoe. I'm about an hour north of Knoxville.
Oh, okay. I'm in Sevierville. I don't know much about Tennessee, but close enough to Knoxville.
Yeah, you had something happen yesterday, I think, down there in Sevierville. maybe a car fire or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Don't know.
let's
Don't know.
let's dive straight into your amazing book, which I loved. Now, SESG Explorer is about the United States has sent a fleet of ships on a diplomatic mission, traveling to a planet they received a message from. They meet the people. Okay, you know what? I should have asked you to pronounce this word for me before I
Kammorriga.
started.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Kammorriga.
Kammorriga. Okay.
Kammorriga.
Okay. The United States has sent a fleet of ships on a diplomatic mission traveling to a planet they received a message from. They meet the people of Kammorriga and discover that they are seeking new worlds to conquer. They discover just how dangerous the galaxy truly is. And so I love how detailed, so it shows your experience and your life experience shows in this book because it's very action packed. I felt like I was reading a movie, like a movie script. Like I could see Tom Cruise playing a main
Screenplay.
character. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the whole time I'm like, it was nonstop. And I love
It was
that.
fast paced.
I
Yes.
love that.
Thank you.
So why
And
don't you
action
tell,
filled.
yes, action filled. So why don't you tell us what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah. My wife sees Woody Harrelson as the main character.
Oh, I love Woody. Okay,
So,
I can see that.
Yeah, I could see that too.
well, what inspired? I actually started writing in college. I wrote a short story, did very well with it in the class that I took, and I started writing a novel then, doing a lot of research and all that, but life got in the way. I had to concentrate on school. So when I deployed to Iraq in 2006, the operational cycle for that year was such I could get back to writing for the first time. Otherwise, you get really bored, or you read a lot, or you just sit around. But when it comes time to plan and do operations, that takes up days, and that's cool. At that time, I only served with the Navy and the Marines, and I wanted to write about them. I wanted to write about the professionalism of the military and our experience, but I didn't want to use Earth. I didn't want to use the real world. And I didn't want to run into some classification problems and all that. When I was at the Navy War College the first time, they wanted me to write a classified paper. And I just flat out refused because I just didn't want to spend the time in the skiff. I didn't want to write a paper that only a few people would read, or possibly a few people. So my professor and I got into it over that. He did not like the fact I refused to write a classified paper.
Oh.
So when I'm writing a story, I'm avoiding classified information. So we're in space and we're encountering the Kammorrigans. And I wanted to write about admirals and Marines and the staff and what they go through. Wanted to redeployed after a year back to California to 1st Marine Division. My duties took over again and the book just sat there. And when I retired in 21, I had then done combatant commands. Space Force was created by then. And I'm like, my book doesn't work anymore because it's near future. It's like right around the corner.
Right.
So it took me a year to update it. And now, because Space Force, my vision of Space Force is not what it is today. I think the military went on the cheap. When President Trump wanted to create it, I don't think he understood the military and the way it works. And so 2 of the services are not being overseen on their space programs. And therefore, we don't have, in my mind, the right objective. So I wrote Space Force the way I see it ought to be done. And therefore, it's joint. I have Air Force officers, Army, Marines, as well as Navy. And they all fall underneath the overarching Space Force. That meant character development, which I did not have to do the first time. But it was, I wanted to entertain the general population. I wanted to be informative about the military. I wanted to be thought provoking. And people within the younger age group, I wanted to, well, and actually you can do it throughout, depending on how you do it, inspire them to serve. I don't care if it's military or diplomacy, the government, or science, but give something back to our country, our republic. And that's, I hope it's not only entertaining, but thought provoking and might stir up those feelings to serve our country.
Yeah,
I think you did that very well.
yeah, you definitely did
How
the
would
thought provoking.
I'm a little bit intrigued. How long did it take you from that first concept of writing this particular story to its final draft?
Well,
Roughly.
a year in Iraq, a year to update everything, and then about a year of the publishing cycle of edit, counter editing, re-editing, counter editing. And
I know that well.
yeah, and sadly, I haven't found somebody who understands military structures and strength. So this book, I had to correct a lot of the edits from the editor.
Oh, that's interesting.
They don't understand. And if you notice in the book, and one of the readers that actually bought the book and read it and saw me uh, last year thanked me for using the military rank structure properly.
Mm.
Yes, if you notice, the Navy captain, the abbreviation is all capitals,
Mhm.
CAPT, whereas the Marine is capital C, small APT, and the Army is a CPT, or the Air Force. So I used their service abbreviation for them. And I would at times spell it out, but then go back to the service abbreviation. And it's one of my pet peeves, even in the military. When I see a Navy rank with a period after it,
Mhm.
or, it's improperly put out there, like LT. LT are capital letters, that's it.
Mhm.
But people will do L, a small t, and a period. That's not how we do our rank abbreviation.
Wow, the nuances of it. Like I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that. Like I'm not military, so that
I'm
didn't cross
familiar
my
with
mind.
that because my husband retired as a chief of police. So throughout those ranks, those were very important to them, especially as a chief. He wanted to make sure that everybody had the proper title and it was properly written and properly abbreviated and so on and so on. So,
Right. And like SESG is actually except for the first S, it's a Navy term. It's an actual capability in the military, Expeditionary Strike Group.
Mhm.
We have, and this is where you got to be careful of terminology. It's why you see amphibious readiness group spelled out and then Marine Expeditionary Unit. We call it ARGMU.
mhm.
Well, ESG, Expeditionary Strike Group, is an ARGMU, but augmented with like a couple of destroyers and a submarine, give them more firepower. The first S being space identifies it's going out into space.
Right.
But I also gave them our carrier strike group capability with the ability to launch fighters, provide a carrier air protection or a cap, that type of stuff, and how the ships would function together. I kind of had to think about that without, how do you have 6 ships in essence? Because one of them is the deep silent run deep ship that's out there. So it's not really part of the bubble. But I have the Marine carrier ship and then the carrier strike group around it to protect it. So it
Yes.
creates a 360-degree bubble to try and protect each ship, just like a carrier strike group does. And like in World War II, the way we flew our bombers in tight groups, Every gun mattered.
Yes.
Wow, the
Yes.
detail, the
I
detail.
love
So
that.
I want to talk about a little to the story, the space story, right? So you mentioned Space Force and how you feel it's not what it could have been, but you're writing the book from your perspective, how you feel like it should be. And I feel like this is one of those stories that it could happen. I mean, you see this type of layout in other sci-fi movies. So, we get a signal and we try to reach out to the alien race and it's not what we think it's going to be.
Right.
So what made you think of that storyline?
So imagine just a military unit going out and it's all peaceful. Everybody's friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Why you need the military?
Mm.
I could have went down maybe Asimov's road with Foundation, First Foundation in particular, where First Foundation sends out merchants, traders,
Yeah.
and they're doing trading. And I just didn't have
It's
that
not
in my head.
realistic, right? Because we don't know what we're
Yeah.
going to come up
Well,
against.
Encounter. Right.
Well, and this is first encounter. This is man's first trip out of the solar system. And they're only motivated to do it because they get a message that they think they may get trade relations going. I mean, what type of technology can you trade for? Do this. So it does have that element in it as the motivation. Uh, but then I think about the military and the way at times we think, meaning the way I used to think. We're just going to go strong, heavy on the military science. Yeah, you guys, we'll let you in the door. We don't like State Department, which is a reality right now. State Department and DOD do not like each other. They don't like working with each other. It's forced relationship. Maybe our current administration is changing that, which I hope, because the early part of the United States history, we worked very well together, all the way up into World War II. We were working very well together. The Barbary Pirate Wars, the State Department led that, not the military. And they actually, 2 diplomats with 6 Marines went into Egypt, got an army from the Egyptians, and crossed all of Libya to attack Tripoli. And then there was actually a joint operation because the Navy arrived at the same time. They communicated. So yeah, land attack and Navy attack at the same time. Beautiful. And that's in the 1800s. So
strategically beautiful. And so I can see the military part of it is inspired by your experience. How about the space portion of it? Did you find that you had to do a lot of research for it, or did it come easily to you? Was it just your imagination for the most part, or did you actually dig deep inside to learn more about outer space?
Well, SESG Explorer is the only thing that I fell back on for space, because we really don't know where Kammorriga is. And it's just going out in like a linear direction, and then of course come back. Hyperspace is really the only thing, and I just fell back off of what I had learned over the years watching the astrophysicists and the way they theorize. Because while I don't go into the theory of hyperspace, it's really the wormhole effect. When you look at it, they're bending space and they're traveling through a wormhole. I don't go into that as part of the science behind the travel, but I talk about how they're traveling, spend weeks at times or a month or two in hyperspace, and how the life on board a ship is very routine because all they're doing is traveling. They're not engaging anything, nothing. Early on, they encounter a situation that they're uncomfortable and they can't figure out why everybody has this strange feeling in their head, their bodies. And if you recall, they kind of attacked the fleet surgeon like it's his fault.
Mm. Right.
But
the unknown.
right, it's the first time you're traveling at any distance. And
in
we're doing that
hyperspace, which should have been like the first thought, like, oh, we're in hyperspace. This is how we're feeling. That's why we're feeling like this.
Right.
They didn't even occur to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it turns out it's an engineering problem, not a medical problem. But consider even now in real world, when you're spending a year at the ISS in near zero gravity, where you're floating around, your muscles atrophy, your heart rate changes, and they're actually studying what does this mean when we go to Mars. If Elon Musk gets it right and we travel to Mars where you're 3 months in space, if you don't have an artificial gravity, what does that really do to the human body? And then mentally, you have to be, well, I'm a bit of a loner, so I would love that. I can live in a confined box. Well, I did it in a ship. Some mariners do it all the time, where you're out there for 3-6 months and maybe, by yourself, or if you're together with a small group, you better figure out group dynamics, because you could end up killing each other if you have the wrong mix of people and the maturity level isn't right.
Yeah, I could totally
I guess
see that.
Kind of played into my thinking as I resolved a lot of that issues, because you have 7 ships, something like 2,500 Marine, SEALs, and Rangers, plus all the crews. So your interaction and the ability to get privacy is possible. So I avoided questions by having a large enough organization that you could get away with it. And I do address the mental health a little bit when it came to that strange hyperspace environment feeling. Because the Admiral does ask, what's the mental state of my people?
Yeah.
And I don't hit on it outside of that, but it's a consideration that my experience told me you need to have, because in Iraq, resiliency was really important, especially for our small teams that was out, especially on the Syrian border. They're out there by themselves with just some Iraqis. You're in the desert. Communication is difficult. You're on patrol. You're always under the threat of being hit by the insurgents.
That's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So
that is a lot.
Talking about mental health, how did you compartmentalize? Because you're writing this book while you were deployed, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So how did you go from, a highly stressful situation? I'm sure you had really stressful days, and then you had your off time, and then you were able to sit and write. Like, how did you compartmentalize that? Yeah.
Right.
So, outside of the few times I went outside of the wire and went to other bases, I was what they called a fobbit.
Okay.
It's a twist on the word hobbit, because we were on the forward operating base, a fobbit. So my job was primarily planning and oversight. I oversaw several teams that were out, because my primary duties was to assist the Iraqis in becoming a military professional organization again. And in our area, we had 2 Iraqi divisions. So I would travel to them, and some of that was hair-raising, one could say. But a lot of times when I got done with the work, or if there was downtime because we didn't have any operations, I either worked with people getting their Marine qualifications, because I'm Navy. So I have it put away. We have a warfare device that we can earn. And so I would assist people in getting those. Or it was at 10 p.m. I was about ready to shut down and go to my hooch when the operations room called and said, in 15 minutes, be ready to get online. We have to reconsider some operations. So I sat there, and 15 minutes later, we popped up and we went through what needed to happen. We made our changes. We rewrote orders. We kicked that out. It informed the writing, but that was work. And being bored, it was easier to write. I'm already going to be going through the imagination, so I might as well write it down.
Absolutely. And we're glad you did. What was the most rewarding part for you in writing this book?
There's like about 3 or 4. Actually writing the story and writing it down, vice just living it in my head. That alone was enjoyable. And then when I revamped the story in 21, I felt like the characters were more alive and were talking to me. There's one character in the book, I never planned on this guy existing. He just suddenly appeared. He's a gunnery sergeant with the Marines. He suddenly appeared. I didn't plan for him, nothing. He just like walked into the story, and that was enjoyable. And before I knew it, he died. I didn't plan to create him. I didn't plan to kill him. He just appeared, and next thing I know, he's dead. I'm like, well, crap, that kind of sucks. And then the next one, of course, seeing your book physically in your hand, come in the mail to have it, and then selling them. And now, like, I just did Fanboy at the Knoxville Convention Center this past weekend. And I actually had people come up, go, oh, great, you got the second book done, great. And they just buy it. And, you know, one guy really loved the story. He goes, you're great at writing. Others like, finally, because Minerva's been a real journey at pain to get published.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about Minerva. Okay, before giving away too much.
Oh, actually, hold on a second, Priya.
Yeah.
Before we even go to our next question, because you were in such a high stress place filled with tension, do you feel that writing was somewhat therapeutic for you? Did it help you kind of disconnect from the craziness of the stress?
I would say so. I mean, people journal, people will do music. My career up to that point, I had already been with the Marine Expeditionary Unit, the 15th MEU, back in 98. And we got summoned. We went to Kuwait. We did our 2 weeks there. And the spiritual aspect of that desert is it calls to you. But the ship environment, the way the Navy and Marines will at times really clash, especially at sea, that was a bit problematic for me. I didn't like that lack of professionalism and mutual respect. So I did classes, I played a video game, and I read, and that was my escape. But, you know, you're confined always in that. My second time with the Marines was when I went back to 1st Marine Division, or first time I went to Mardiv. I was sent to Iraq with what we call 1 Met Forward, 1st Marine Expeditionary Force Forward in Iraq. Very different environment with the Marines. We were much more of a team, mutual respect, cooperation. But yeah, my base got mortared twice. The second time, the first time, a Marine buddy of mine came within inches of a mortar shell or a fragment about this thick, came through the bathroom wall and missed him by inches.
Oh my God.
I went out and found a contractor that one of those fragments came through the roof, went right through his head. He was instantly killed.
Oh,
But
wow.
he wasn't the issue. The issue was his coworker trying to revive him. My feelings about death is a little bit different from a lot of people. It's a finality, so I don't concern myself with it. It's the living and how they're dealing with it, or the
The
injuries.
loss.
That was the trouble part for me. But I knew where the medical folks were at, so I got a Marine to head over there, grab them. I didn't try to interfere with the guy trying to save his coworker, because that would, I don't have those skills to deal with that psychological impact. But the medical people know it. The doctors know it. And one of the doctors that came over was actually our psychiatrist for the area for One Met Ford. And I would support him in his efforts on building resilience with the Marines to deal with the different situations we were seeing. So when you deal with all that and knowing you have people out there in danger day in, day out, yeah, going to my my room and be able to pop up my laptop and just start writing. I mean, I'm in my other world.
Your escape.
I've gone into outer space with, even though they're military, they're having military encounters. I'm out there.
And what a beautiful place to go to, of all the places, right? To go to outer space. It's infinite to what you can imagine and create. I'm sorry, Priya. Go back to your question. I just had to know how that felt, because I know he was going through a lot.
That was an important question. So, okay, let's talk about book 2. Tell us more about it.
So Minerva, so SESG Explorer is our first trip out of our solar system to go meet the Kammorrigans. And yeah, it turns out the Kammorrigans are not nice people.
Right. And would you say that we need to read number 1 before we read number 2, or are they standalones?
Well, they're not really standalone. It turns out it's a trilogy, but you can read Minerva.
Very nice. So he's showing the cover, guys. For everyone listening, he's showing the cover. It's beautiful.
So Minerva could be read without reading SESG Explorer.
Okay.
Because it's focused on what's happening at that point in time. There are references made back to SESG, of course. The deputy commander, General Connington, in SESG Explorer, is given his own SESG in Minerva to go find the threat that they discover in SESG Explorer and neutralize it. And in fact, Minerva was supposed to be centered around his mission when I first started writing it. But it turns out the ambassador from SESG Explorer, his mission is actually more important in the book. And his mission is to go out and find cooperative aliens to develop a coalition around. And a Navy SEAL and Explorer is promoted to Chief Petty Officer and assigned to Mike, the ambassador, to help him in his encounters with new aliens. But his ship is alone, and they go out there, and the commanding officer of that ship is very nervous about getting into any engagement because while she wants a combat role, she's alone. It's just her crew, the ship, and she has to take care of the ambassador and keep him from getting killed. So she has her own lot. And then SAG Liberator, Space Action Group, which is based off of a Navy surface action group, which is a 3-ship. In real life, the Navy sends out 3 ships, a cruiser, maybe 2, and a destroyer. and that's called Surface Action Group. I just made it Space Action Group. So they're out there defending a planet, the first planet that they discover in SESG Explorer. They're sent there to defend and protect it
by themselves.
It's under constant attack.
So Minerva is available now?
Yes. My website, ChristopherLoric.com. You'll see both books with links to the online bookstores that you can go and get.
Beautiful.
I'll be at the Knoxville Expo Center in North Knoxville. Let me get the dates right. That's going to be 13 and 14 September at the Tennessee Book Review event at the Expo Center, and I'll be there with both books ready to sign.
Wonderful. And that's amazing. Like the fact that you even have such a good response to people wanting to read the second book, find out what happens. What I want to know, and obviously you don't have to give up the goat now, but are they going to be planet side? So they're protecting a planet. Are they going to get off the ship at any point?
Oh yeah.
You don't have to share any spoilers. I just
well, it's a yes.
I love the world. I love world building when it comes to sci-fi. So I'm just asking.
So in SESG Explorer, general order number 1 was keeps Earth's location a secret. And while I don't go into it, the Admiral was supposed to destroy his fleet if Earth's location could be discovered.
Yeah.
In Minerva, that standing orders remains. And nobody is to travel directly to Earth or from Earth. They go through the first planet, which is 237 Prime. And the colony is Plymouth Station. So Colonel Jones, who gets promoted to Brigadier General Jones, it's his job to be the customs or border patrol to Earth.
That's interesting.
So anybody leaving Earth or coming to Earth has to go through his station. And here he is under constant attack. So when Mike goes out on his diplomatic mission, he has to stop there. When Gerald Cunnington goes out on his mission, he has to stop there. When Captain Lindsay is given her mission, and she's from the first book, she has to stop there. So yeah, that, and you get to see the planet. There is conflict on the planet as well as in the general space around him. And
there you go, Priya.
I don't know the details.
And then, of course, General Cunnington has his mission set, which goes into a solar system. And General Roberts, or Colonel Roberts, from the 51st Mu in SESG Explorer, becomes a brigadier general as his deputy commander. And they discover a problem. How do you, and here's what I don't like about the movie Starship Troopers. They attack a planet and they're able to take a planet. How?
Right.
I ran into that problem of writing that Cunnington's supposed to take this planet. And suddenly it's like, there's no way he can take the planet. It's an impossibility. He just doesn't have the military might, the population to take a planet.
Right.
So what does he do? He has to solve this problem. It's in the book.
So yes, obviously. You did that so beautifully too. When can we expect the third of a trilogy? I mean, you put it out there. So
yeah, I'm on probably next year. I finally was, Minerva's been such a trial. Last October, November, December, I had a surgery that took me 3.5 months to recover from. I couldn't even sit down. So this chair, and I write where you're looking at, I couldn't sit here and do anything.
Oh man.
And my publisher had her own medical issues for those 3-4 months. There was an error done, so it took me a month and a half to correct that error, and then we finally got on with the process. So June is when Minerva dropped.
Okay.
But in between all that, I was working on the third book, and I'm on chapter 9 right now. And yesterday I sat down, but with that book, Earth Force One is the title, I have to get in the right frame of mind, because while Minerva has multiple things going on, it tightens back up in the final book, but I have new people. I have a senator
new
now.
Characters.
Yes. I have a senator out there. She's a bit of a pain, but I stumbled, unfortunately, into some romantic feelings with her and one of the crew members. It just happened. It's like, what do you mean?
Because it happens. It happens in real life. Why not in the book?
Right. And I didn't plan on it, but she found this guy to be really attractive. I'm like, oh, darn, okay. So
a little romance is always good in any story.
Yes.
And he's a E9, Chief Master Sergeant, right? So, yeah, that's the rank. Air Force E9. So he's trying to let her know, you're in the officer country. You're special staff to the Admiral. I'm in charge of Guardians, because that's the term we use for Space Force members, Guardians. And he has to lead these Guardians and keep them safe, because he works on the hangar bay. So there's that tension, plus the tension between a total civilian who's trying to ride roughshod over the military, but they're now in deep space, and it's the Admiral who's in charge. And her boss is the Chief of Staff. So there's that tension.
Oh, wow. You have a lot going on there.
Right. And that's just the interaction. Then you bring in the aliens that are discovered in Minerva, and that they finally build a coalition. For instance, chapter 9, the Wusuna come to the Admiral because they're told by their government, what you found out, you report directly to the Admiral and let him know. He has to have this information. But one of them is right now in the ICU, and I just don't know if he's going to live or not.
And this is just chapter 9.
Yes.
Already killing off characters.
Goodness, right?
Well, I'm hoping he doesn't die, but I don't know.
Wow. Well, thank you. This is so interesting and so amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, first of all, for sharing your book, for signing it for us, dedicating it to us, and for sharing the story, which was inspired by true story, right? Inspired
by life experiences.
By life experiences, exactly. And then taken to a place far, far beyond. Yes. We can't wait to read the second one, and we can't wait to hear about the third one. So we hope you stay in touch with us. We will be sharing with our listeners where and how, again, written down with our post, how they can get your books, and then be on the lookout and follow you so that they can be aware of when the third one will drop. Anything else you want to say, Priya?
No, well, thank you so much for being our guest today, Chris. It was amazing having you on and hearing about everything. I don't know how you wrote and fought at the same time. That is a mind bend. Yes. So thank you so much for creating this special story. And we can't wait to hear what happens in the future with your third book. And of course, Minerva. Everyone listening and watching, check out his book. The links are in the summary. Like, share, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you the next time.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Christopher. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.